Hi, I'm Bill Girlington, and that's Dave Haynes. And welcome to Jeremiah Creek, also known as the B-Cup's Guide, also known as Perfectly Harmless Radio, also known as the Dave and Chris Show.
By the way, I found an old beer stein, the Dave and Chris Show beer stein.
What?
I was having work done at the house.
Oh, my God, I forgot all about those.
Yeah, I had old Dave and Chris Show WJJG beer stein. I should bring it to...
Dang, man.
Next time I'll bring it. We have coffee.
Did I have one of those?
You should, somewhere.
What the hell, man?
I'm having some work done at the house. Our cabinets in the kitchen were pulling away from the wall. I found it at the top of the old cabinet way in the back. So
The things we find.
Yeah. Okay, so I have some topics today, actually.
Bring them on, Dave.
All right, let's start with, because, we're men of a certain age.
Yes, we are.
So let's talk about cars, because that's what, men do. Cars,
All right.
Girls, whatever.
Engines, hunting,
Engines,
fishing, existential phenomenology.
So I'm getting a new car.
Ah, wait a minute. Car or truck?
Truck.
Are you going to go for it and get an FJ? There's new ones.
I'm not getting a new one. I can't afford to buy a new car. You know what? The thing is, too, is even if I could afford it, I mean, the kind of trucks. Okay, I need a truck that can pull at least 10,000 pounds of weight. Because
Dave, I don't think you've been working hard, and I don't think that you're that big. All right.
We planned to buy an RV, so whenever we were going to buy a new truck, the next truck we were going to buy was going to be able to pull an RV, because we had decided not to buy an RV that you drove, because then you have to worry about repairing.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, so we decided to buy an RV that you pull, but that we don't have my Jeep only pulls like 5,000 pounds.
Just do one half at a time.
What?
Just pull one half at a time. Pull the first 5,000 down.
So anyway, all right. So, but there's a story behind this.
All right, I'm waiting.
I had a plan. All right, my plan was that whenever we bought a new truck, I was going to trade in my beater car that my daughter's driving, and then my Jeep, I would just let her drive that, which is safer, bigger, and she could drive that until it died, and then. So I've actually been trying to talk my wife into to doing that, soon, like now. And the problem is that all of a sudden I started hearing a weird sound in the Jeep. And I took it in yesterday and got the results back. It needs a new crankshaft and a new drive shaft.
Jesus Christ.
So
is it where you park them? Is that what happens to your cars?
What?
Your cars have bad luck, man.
No, this is the first serious. The only time I've ever had any major repairs in this car was we were coming back from fishing like 10 years ago or something.
Huh? All right. So you're gonna replace it?
That was only $900. That was the most money I put into this car was $900.
Not bad.
So here's my question. So this is what we came up with. It's like, do we put $3,000 into repairing this thing when it has 175,000 miles on it? And my thing is like, my goal is that's 6 months worth of car payments if we get, if I put a big down payment on a car, that's about 6 months worth of car payments. So are we going to get 6 more months out of this thing, or are we going to run into the engine's going to die in 4 months, and I'm going to need to put $5,000 into repairing that? So my wife's okay. Here's this also gets to my weirdness, because you got to think about this. So last week I was like saying, I was looking at trucks going, we should trade the other car and buy a new truck. Now we get this bill back and my wife is like, we should just get rid of the Jeep and buy a new truck. And so now all of a sudden, because she's on board, I'm like, well, maybe we should put the money into the Jeep.
What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Dave?
It's me, right?
What is?
It's me, right? Well, her idea, her plan. See, that's the thing. We make plans, and I tell her what I think we should do, and then she agrees with it, and then we do something completely different, whatever she wants to do. But
she doesn't listen to the podcast, people. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting in trouble for this. But
neither of our wives know where the hell this podcast is.
I complain about it all the time, so it's not like. But what was I going to say? She is, her plan is, and I sort of agree with this plan. So that's the other thing, is I don't disagree with her. It just, for some reason, the fact that I agree with her makes it even more hard for me to pull the trigger on this. But her plan is that we're hoping that my daughter goes to college in Tennessee. So far, she's gotten into every college she's applying to, which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because they all offer her scholarships.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, she got into Lake Forest College, and they offered her a $32,000 a year scholarship, which is a little less than half of what the tuition is.
Wow.
And I'm like, we can't afford this. We can afford it if you got a full ride and we had to pay for your housing. That we can afford. But anyway.
Well, but good for her.
Yeah. But she got into school in Tennessee, which we called down there, and we do qualify as in-state. So her in-state tuition in Tennessee would be cheaper than what it would be here with a scholarship. So our thing was like,
I mean, they don't use the right alphabet, but other than that, it's all right. They use the Tennessee alphabet.
I mean, they use the same alphabet, but there's some weird class. Moonshine 101, a little weird.
I mean, you'll need that.
Yeah.
You know?
But, so our
sisters,
plan
what are they?
is that we will cover her living expenses. We'll pay for her dorm and meal and stuff, and then she can worry about getting loans or scholarships for her tuition. And the other thing was we were going to we'll buy a car, like a $5,000 car. That's what my wife wants to do, which I'm all on board with, except I'm looking and I can't find no $5,000 reliable cars anymore. So that's the problem I have with that. But yeah, so I was looking at trucks. So what I have been able to find is like Ford F-150s.
Nice.
That's
a great truck.
That will pull the right amount of weight and under 50,000 miles. And I've been able to find them for under $35,000, which is basically my upper limit. Because I can't really have a car payment for a loan more than $20,000, and I can't really afford to put more than $15,000 down. So.
Yeah. It's almost like buying. This is like buying a house in the '90s.
Yeah, no shit, right?
It's fucking.
But so I found. So I also found a GMC. No, it was a Chevy Silverado, which is really nice. The only problem with the Chevy Silverado, though, it looked like it was more of a work truck. I want one of those pickup trucks with the cover on the back that you can raise and lower, so you can put stuff in there.
Yeah.
Keep it out of the weather.
Yeah.
The Chevy Silverado, which I thought looked really cool, but it didn't have that. It had an open bed.
The F-150 is the way to go, man. That has always been the most solid and reliable American truck.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Plus, they look sharp.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking.
How big is it?
Well, it's a 4-door, so it's got a full back seat. Actually, the one I was looking at was actually kind of cool because the front, and I don't know if all Ford F-150s, this is the one I was looking at the pictures for. I haven't even taken one for a test drive, so that's the other thing tomorrow we're going to go take for a test drive. But the middle, one of the things I kind of liked about it, and I never really noticed this, I didn't know they had this. The middle of the front seat, where you have the console and every car now has cup holders and a thing to put stuff in. Well, that goes up, and it turns into a bench seat in the Ford F-150.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm driving down with my girl sitting with my arm around her.
Yeah.
Listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I can see that,
Well,
anyway, so that's it is me that's weird about this, right? Because last week I wanted a truck. Now I'm like, well, maybe we should hold up.
I think it's obvious that what's more important to you is to maintain contentiousness in your marriage. That's what's important.
You think that's it? I don't know.
Well, that's our show, people, and thank you for tuning in.
I mean, you can't keep it going while I'm lighting a cigar.
So, no,
I do have another topic.
Please, because I got nothing, man.
If we exhausted the car, I have two more topics.
You know what? We buy Toyotas, so there's never any stories about our cars. Except that for the first time in...
You almost bought a Ford Flex last time.
I was seriously thinking about it because we rented one when we were in Oregon, and it was a very pleasant driving experience. But then I started looking at it really close, and the interior was kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, that's not going to last. I'm not going to like this. And I'm just glad I went with the FJ.
Well, my problem, too, is I have a 2007 Jeep Commander. It's got 175,000 miles on it. When I bought it, it had less than 50,000 miles. So I put the vast majority of those miles on it. I love this thing.
Yeah.
I really do. It's very comfortable, even that everything's getting old. And
that's when we rode to Tennessee in, right?
Yeah.
That's a comfortable truck.
So I really hate to get rid of it. And I also, when I was, the first real car I ever bought that was not a beater, because when I was growing up, I mean, my first car was a Dodge Duster that cost $400.
Dusters.
I love that car, too.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky with cars. So my first car was a Dodge Duster that I bought. It was falling apart, but it ran like a champ.
Yeah.
And the guys that I bought it from, the teenagers, they had like cut holes in the body, because what they had planned to do was fill the cavities between the body and the frame with cement, and then like run it into stuff. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! You saved that car from certain death, man.
And then their parents, because this was in high school, so their parents got wind of it and said they had to sell it. So I bought that car. Now I'm going to go on an old history thing.
Bring it, man.
That car had the way they had cut out the wall between the trunk and the back seat and hinged it and put a little lock on it so you could lower it down. And they used it for camping. They would sleep.
What are these guys doing now?
I don't know.
I mean, who were these guys, man? They were genius.
High school guys from Lane Tech, in the auto shop. They did crazy shit.
Wow.
Like that. It made me wish I would have took auto shop. I was a senior in high school when I bought that car. And then, so then when I left for the Marine Corps and came back, my dad had found a Monte Carlo, 77 Monte Carlo. Banana yellow. Loved that car too. Drove it from here to California.
Yeah.
And it broke down halfway. I had to leave it in Springfield, Missouri, and come back for it.
Wow.
Because I didn't have any more leave. I couldn't wait to get it fixed. So I had to come back for it, and then I drive. I also got stuck with that car in a blizzard in Miami, Oklahoma. That's the story I tell you about how I ended up getting stuck at a hotel for 2 days with the Miss Teen USA contestants all staying in a hotel.
Terrible.
And I was a Marine.
He suffered so much. He suffered so much.
I also ran out of gas in Flagstaff, Arizona, and had to wait. And this is before ATM, people. I had to wait for my dad to wire me money from Western Union, and I had slept overnight in a homeless shelter because I didn't have the money.
Damn.
Couldn't get to them.
Dave Haynes, life of adventure, man of mystery.
And so then when I got out of the Marine
Homeless.
Corps, and I moved back to Chicago, I got a 77 Lincoln Continental. Absolutely beautiful. That was the car I had when I met my wife. First date. The seats went all the way back. The front seats went all the way back.
Yeah, well, they need to, you know?
The memories. But anyway, but the first car that I ever really bought, the first that I spent thousands of dollars on, was a 94 Volvo. And, no, not a 94, 84 Volvo. 84 Volvo. Because I bought it right before I got married. In 93. So yeah, it was 84 Volvo. And it broke down on our honeymoon because, we were driving on our honeymoon. And so to get ready for it, I changed the oil. But I forgot to put the oil cap back on. So the oil was shooting all over the engine. And it messed up a part. We were able to get through the honeymoon okay, but the part cost like $500 fixed back in 93.
Wow, that's a whole engine.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
So I got it fixed, but then we ended up trading it in and bought a Ford wagon or some shit like that. New one, pretty new. But it was a Ford wagon. I missed it. The Volvo was probably still running somewhere because Volvos are unbelievable cars. And I missed that car. So then I've had all regular cars since then. But I really like this.
Have you ever had a brand new car?
That Ford wagon we bought brand new. That's the only brand new car I've ever had.
Was that a minivan or?
No, it was one of the last station wagons.
Huh. Yeah, that had to be when you had kids, right?
It was when we were starting. It was after we got married and we were starting to talk about having kids. We had it until my son was born, but Annie had an accident when she was pregnant. And
Oops.
Didn't total the car, but it was never the same after that. So we ended up trading it in for something else. But anyway,
It seems like you had pretty cool cars from the beginning. I didn't have that experience. It was a long time before I had my first decent car. I had
my problem is I don't really care about new, but I've always had good luck with cars.
well, it's important. It's not new's not important. Well, it is to me now, but like dependable is good, and looking kind of cool is kind of good too.
Yeah.
And I never had any of those.
And fun to drive.
I had a car that was so ugly and undependable that my friend secretly sabotaged it, said I had to get rid of it. And this will explain everything about me and cars, that I actually purchased this car. It was a purple Gremlin.
Wow.
Remember Gremlins?
Yeah.
Purple.
Wow.
Purple Gremlin.
You know what, now that would be considered cool now.
Nah, no, it wouldn't. It would be ironically cool.
Yeah. Right.
There's that which still isn't cool, and it was the stupidest car ever. The gas gauge didn't work, so you had to think a lot about it, And I ran out of gas all the time. So one time I ran out of gas on one of the shortcuts in Florida, which went through the orange groves. There's no traffic. It was a dirt road. Ran out of gas with my friends in the car, and they were like, they'd had it.
Why did you run out of gas?
The gas gauge didn't work.
So you fill it up every once in a while. You have to
Well, yeah, but you got to think about it. And I don't know if you've met me, but I'm not good at that. And so I ran out of gas, and we walked home and everything, and it was going to take me a couple of days to get out there just because of me, And while I wasn't taking care of my car, my friends went and poured sand in the gas tank, and which sounds like a dickish move. All right, it sounds like a dick move. But on the other hand, it was a purple Gremlin.
Yeah.
All right, and I think they did me a favor. I really do. And I had like 5 terrible cars before I got my first good car, and that was a 66 Chevy Impala convertible. Same thing Action Jackson used to drive. Really sweet car. And then I had to give that up because I didn't know what I didn't realize what happens when an engine freezes. And I was in Florida. It never really froze in Florida, and it got way down. It blew my engine. Couldn't afford to fix it. Had to sell it to a collector. And my next car, I went back. I backslid, and I got a bubblegum pink Volkswagen Beetle, like a 71 Beetle, that had "Let's Party" seat covers on it, and it was a complete piece of shit. It was a piece of crap, and I still to this day don't know how I bought it. I don't know why I bought it. It's a terrible car. It was ugly. It was the ugliest car I've ever owned, and I owned a purple Gremlin. It was the ugliest car I've ever owned, and but after that, I had just regular cars until I have my perfect car now, which is a 2013 Toyota FJ Cruiser, which is a great car.
I had when I was in the police academy, I had a Trans Am.
Get the fuck out! Are you serious?
Yeah, it was an old beat up Trans Am, and I got it cheap. You know why? It was a manual transmission.
Oh well, I think that's fine.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Nobody else could drive it. My wife couldn't drive it. No,
Manual transmissions like writing in cursive. Like no one can read it. No one can drive a manual transmission.
I saw actually when we were looking for $5,000 dependable cars just to see if we could find them. I know a guy who's got a really nice car that would sell it to me, but it's a manual transmission. I'm like, maybe you could teach her how to drive a manual.
Yeah, why not? It's not that hard.
No, it's just a habit. That's all.
Yeah.
But I love that. That's a good one too. But
I don't think I've ever had a manual transmission car. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. I must. Oh yeah, I had a Rabbit. I had a VW Rabbit very briefly, and it was a manual transmission. And I crashed it into a toll booth at a whopping speed of 15 miles an hour, and totaled it. Because they were the first cars that were unibody construction, so it didn't have a frame It was the frame, right? And if you twisted it, you were screwed.
Oh,
Yeah, you were screwed.
My Dodge Duster, the week I went into the Marine Corps, I totaled it. And what I was doing was I was driving it in the rain, right at where Peterson and Ridge meet. And as I was coming up to it, I was slowing down for a red light, and the light turned green. And so I hit the gas. I hit the gas a little too hard and spun out and hit a light pole, which is designed, at least they were then, I don't know if they still are, to fall down. So the light pole fell down. It was one of the street lights. And I hit it right on the front of the driver's side door. And it twisted the frame a little bit. It didn't even look that bad.
Yeah.
And it was totaled out.
Yep.
And then, years later, I got the, apparently, the city sent me, they were going to sue me because of the light pole. Because, I said I was cut off, and they put it in there as an accident, and nobody ever said nothing. I didn't get a ticket or anything. And, but after I left for the Marine Corps, they sent a summons saying that I was getting sued, which was sent to my house. I was in boot camp, so I didn't see it. And since I didn't show up, they default judgment. Never said nothing.
Yeah.
Years later, when I joined the police academy, they pulled me out of class and said, "You owe whatever $1,600 for this accident." And so it was $1,200. It was $800 for the light pole and $400 for the labor. Right?
I could have got you a deal in the light pole.
Well, what I did was I went there and I said, "Listen, and they explained what happened, and they said, "Your default judgment, you owe it." And I said, "Well, I don't mind paying the labor." I said, "But if I'm going to pay for the light pole, I want the light pole." And they said,
"That's fair."
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "If I'm paying for it, then I want it. So give me a light pole." And they took off the cost of the light pole because they obviously didn't have it anymore.
Look at that. Being a dick, saved you money.
Saved me $800.
I'm telling you, man.
All right.
I don't really have any topics. Have we talked since I went to San Francisco? Have we been on the air? We haven't, have we? Yeah, I went to San Francisco to visit a fake family.
Was this before or after they cleaned it up for the Chinese premiere?
While they were doing it. They were cleaning it while we were there.
Did you, see him, just...
No, he wasn't there yet. I left before he arrived.
Did you see where they took any of the homeless people? Because I don't think anybody could find them.
Well, I tell you what, they weren't there. And I had been to San Francisco before, and I had bad experiences with the homeless. I literally got threatened by a homeless person, and which is an odd thing to happen. And so I didn't have a very good opinion of San Francisco, and I didn't know they were cleaning up for the consulate because I don't watch the news anymore. Yeah. So I didn't know that that's what had happened. And we got here this time, and I was downtown. I'm like, you know what? I need to revise my opinion of San Francisco. It's pretty nice down here. Streets are empty. Parking was easy. Everything was super clean. They were literally had trucks out cleaning, people with power washers and stuff while we were there. And I didn't realize that's what it was for, And so I had a wonderful time. And it wasn't I didn't see a single solitary homeless person. I think they took them all to Chicago and put them down by the Jeff Park police station.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the thing is, they're doing that now. They're getting all of the migrants out of the police stations. But they haven't built the...
And they're taking them to churches and stuff, right?
Well, but they haven't started that yet.
Yeah.
They announced that, and then they also said they were going to build these tent cities or whatever. But they've cleared them out of 8 police districts so far. And the question nobody's asking is, where'd you put them?
Yeah. Sauganash.
I mean, and if I assume that they put them in hotels or homeless shelters or whatever, but this is a long-standing belief of mine. If you could do it now, why couldn't you do it before?
Yeah.
And my belief is that when this all started in Chicago, before our new mayor was sworn in, so this is going back to Lori Lightfoot, I believe that they thought that it was going to be a very temporary thing, and they saw it as a way to gain some political points. And I believe that our city used these migrants as pawns, put them in the police stations, make it look so bad, and then figure the media would cover it, and they would win political points and be able to talk about how rotten Texas is for sending them here. And then...
Well, Texas is rotten for sending them here.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. But
the way it occurred is is not great.
Well,
They could have treated them a little bit. I have to stop the whole show. You've got something in your beard, and I can't concentrate. Here, let me see. Nope, still there. Oh, there we go. Now it's in a different place.
what?
It's like a piece of a cigar or something like that. And now it's gone. No, it's still there. Oh, Jesus God. I can't. I'm going to lose my mind. I would come over and get it, but that's gay, so I can't do that.
No, hold on. I got to call. Go ahead. So what were you saying about
Well, you and I have different views of these things, but believe it or not, my view is not because of my political beliefs. It has nothing to do with that. I believe that those people, regardless of why or how they're here, doesn't matter. I think they should be treated with compassion, and I think they should be treated with all the same dignity that we treat. Yeah, I don't think Texas did that. I think Texas did not really explain to them what was going on. And I don't think they said, hey, we're going to take you to Chicago and drop you off. I don't think they said that.
Well,
maybe they did. I don't know. But I don't think they did.
They did. According to, and I talked to several migrants before I retired, they chose to come to Chicago. What happened in Texas was they were asked, where do you want to go? And they were given a list of cities. They were given a list of sanctuary cities. And they were asked, where do you want to go? Because,
Well, Chicago makes a of course they want to go to Chicago.
Right. And because
Well, so I'm wrong about that.
you were wrong about the fact that they weren't, it was their choice. The only thing that they were told that they were probably lied to in the fact that they thought that by coming to Chicago would help them get work permits and stuff like that. And they didn't. I mean, and that's part of the reason why I really was offended by the way they were treated once they got here.
Yeah.
Because I think that they thought it was going to be a political win, and so they said, well, we'll make it as hard as possible on everybody involved. I mean, even we would have suggestions at the police station about where in the police station, maybe the hallways in the front isn't good. Let's move them into the community room. We can't do that because the community room, they need to have meetings for the community. Fuck the meetings. If we're going to put them here,
have the meetings outside. Yeah.
Next to the bathroom, where we can have everybody have
Smart
space.
That's compassion.
We had suggestions, and they were like, "No, we want them in the public view."
Well, I got to tell you, I drive by. What precinct is on Lincoln Avenue there near Foster?
The 20th district.
So I drive by the 20th every once in a while, and I've been noticing lately that there's a camp.
Yeah.
In front of there,
Yeah, and there was 16 for a while too, although now it's kind of gone less. But
well, Chicago's mostly a good place for people that are coming over from, I would say, Mexico and Central America, because we have such an incredibly huge community of people from Mexico and Central America that have come here and are working and established lives.
Yeah.
And so there's a network that they can step into, I would assume.
Well, the problem is, okay, first of all, I mean, I have ideas of what the problem is. The problem isn't really with what the government of the city of Chicago wants to do. The problem is that to get these people any kind of work permits, it has nothing to do with the city. It has to do with the federal government.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to maneuver everybody through that. It's basically impossible. And one of the problems that they had when it was all in Texas was the Texas authorities would be like, we need help. We need the federal government. We need this is crazy. We need to either stop them. We need to figure out what to do. If we're not going to stop them, we have to do. And then you would have the Lori Lightfoots of the world and whoever the mayor was before, Eric Adams in New York, would call them all kinds of racist and stuff and xenophobic and this and that. So they said, okay, well, we'll send the problem to you. Now, all these same mayors who called them all racist are saying the exact same things. We need help from the federal government. We need help from the state government. So they're making their arguments for them. So this is the biggest political win for the border states. I mean, but
Wyoming, Minnesota.
There are problems. You cannot have somebody come in here for 6 months and not give them a permit to work. Either don't let them come in, or figure out a way to get them, a chance to get a job and get out.
I don't know why they can't. automated and put online and stuff, you know.
Personally, I think that we have made, we've talked about this before, but we've made a mistake since the 70s about how to deal with these people from Mexico who want to come over the border. Because in reality, well, most of the people I dealt with in the police department weren't from Mexico or from Venezuela, which is a whole separate issue. But what we need to do is we need to have some kind of work program where you can get a permit to come in here for 6 months and work, because they want to send their money home anyway, and they'd want to go back. But once you're here illegally, you can't go back, because then you got to come back illegally. So there's
what?
If you sneak over the border, well, you can't go back home at the end of the avocado picking or whatever. You come over the border for work. You can't work here for 6 months, go back to Mexico for the season, and then come back, because then you got to come back illegally again. So now you have to stay. So if you cross the border illegally, you have to figure out a way to stay, or else you won't be able to come back. You know what I mean? So if we had some way to legally come back and forth and work and go home and whatever, there's got to be a better way than doing it what we're doing. And these politicians, I believe, on both sides, Republicans, Democrats, have no reason to try to come up with a real solution, because they just use them as political pawns against the other one. They use this immigration stuff to call each other names. That's it. And as long as they have that issue, there's no reason for them to solve the issue. And that's what I think happened here. The Texas and Florida authorities thought, okay, well, you're going to call us names, we'll send you the problem, and then you'll make our arguments for us, which they did. They were successful. But then the Democrats felt up here in Chicago felt like, well, we can use these guys to show how rotten those people are down in Texas. So they put them in the police stations and threw the cameras on them and let them go, and then didn't have any.
I hope that isn't true, but it might be.
Yeah. And I think now, I don't particularly like our new mayor either, but at least it seems like they're trying to figure out a way to deal with the problem instead of just using it as a political point. And so we'll see if it works. These 10 cities, I think, are not a great idea. Although when I was in the military, I lived in some of those, and it can work.
Yeah, if it's super well organized, like it was in the military.
Right, and I don't have any faith in the organizational abilities.
You should let the military do it.
Well, I think they should hire somebody who understands it, who understands the military.
The military would be perfect. They're so good at deployment and putting things like that together, and they have the resources.
Yeah, but you can't get active duty military. You can get people who were in the military who understand it and are retired.
Why not get the active military to do it?
Because it's like the National Guard. You have to have the governor call them out. And again, there's a political downside to saying we need the National Guard.
And I've noticed that
during COVID, the National Guard set up all these COVID things, testing stations.
Yeah. I guess they just don't see it as a real crisis.
Or at least not one they feel compelled to solve. Well,
I know that citizens can step in sometimes and help out. I know that I've helped out at a couple of at one of the churches that does. They feed homeless people or people that are way below the poverty line, may not be homeless, but they ain't got much else going on. And but I don't know if that really helps out the tent city people, to be honest. And when I was in San Francisco, there was.
You know what pisses me off about that? Those people. There are people who used to come to the station and volunteer, and they were wonderful people, salty and everything. But the fact remains is that the city is paying organizations to do that. And what the organizations are doing is taking the money and then getting people to volunteer for free to do it, and then keeping the money. They might be buying some kind of food or something like that, but none of their people.
I had a hard time believing that a church would do that.
Not a church. Not the church. I'm talking about before the church. The churches haven't started doing anything yet.
Well, this is before COVID that I'm talking about. That I did this.
Oh.
Yeah, this is not recent. I haven't gone back yet.
Yeah, there's another thing. The people who helped out the homeless people, I talked to them, like our church, and there's a retired commander I used to know who's been helping out the homeless people that have been in Chicago since before COVID. They never got any money for that. They never got any help from the government, the city. None. They did it all volunteer through their church, raising money, everything. It was all private. And now that we have this migrant issue, now the cities and the state now is giving $160 million, but they're giving the money to organizations to try to help solve this problem. But they never helped the homeless people before. They never did this. We used to throw the homeless people out of the station unless it was a heat or a cold emergency. You weren't allowed to sleep in the police station. And then as soon as the migrants started showing up, now we were ordered to house them. And, but we never,
why not the fire stations?
Yeah, why not City Hall? Why not McCormick Place? We put a whole COVID, we put 1,000-bed COVID thing in McCormick Place. Why not set it up again and have migrants sleep in there, or at least as our version of Ellis Island, you sleep there until we can get you to somewhere else. But no,
that's why.
There were a lot of better ways to do this in the beginning, and that's why I think that they did this, because they thought there was a political upside, and it turned out there wasn't. So now they're finally, the new government, the new administration is trying to figure out a real solution. And whether you agree with them or not, Brandon Johnson with this 10 cities and stuff, at least he's trying to float ideas. But you know, then you got all these people who are seeing their, you know, you have all these migrants flooding into a neighborhood, and the city talking about letting them vote and stuff. That's going to screw up their political power. So you can see why people are pushing back. And they had these single guys in that hotel downtown, the migrants. Well, that causes crime problems too, and that's on the news, and people in the neighborhood know about it. So they don't want these 10 cities in their neighborhood. Again, it's because I think that's all public relations. They got to be like, this is what we're going to do. They got to be transparent, and they're not. They're just like, we're going to build a tent city, and then all of a sudden the neighbors find out and go, fuck you are, and then they start protesting and arguing. Even the alderman doesn't know what's going on. And it's because they're so far behind on the 8 ball. And not.
Well, that sucks.
I could have run that better. Didn't I?
Are you? Am I hearing you were in for mayor? No, Dave.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't have minded. I wouldn't have minded retiring and being put in charge of this, because I could come up with some good solutions like that.
Are you going to run for mayor down in Tennessee?
No, I might run for sheriff.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. I would love that if you ran for sheriff. If you run sheriff, can I be your sidekick?
Sure.
I need a cool name like Festus.
Yeah, or what was it? The Roscoe Pete Coltrane.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So I have another topic. If you want. Wait, we should switch. We should stop. So hopefully they'll put a commercial there. And if you want to sponsor Jeremiah Creek, you just send an email to jeremiahcreek@gmail.com, and you can sponsor the show. We need money. And preferably an intern or two.
Yeah, or 6.
Yeah.
Who knows how to set these things up?
All right, so we were supposed to do our podcast a couple weeks ago, but then we got caught up and stuff. And I sent you a question.
Oh, crap.
And I said, we got to talk about this on the podcast.
What was the question?
How often do you use a towel for showers?
Okay. Should I answer this now?
Sure.
I use the same towel for a week.
Okay.
I keep it. We have 2 bathrooms with showers. One in the basement that's new. It's newly refurbished, and I love it. It's a huge shower. It's got like the rain shower head and everything, you know. And I like that one. I'm not standing in a bathtub, you know. I'm standing in like a big shower, and I just keep my towel hanging right there. I bring my clothes down and I dry off and I change. And but there are members of my family that use a different towel or 2 every time they go.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to
And I'm like, I mean, when I had both my wife and my daughter living in the house, and another, well, shouldn't count, that was 4 towels a day for them, all right? And it's not like we had an infinite number of towels. You know, and then you add my son, that's 5 towels a day right there. I mean, that's a lot of towels every day, you know? Yeah.
Now, your son, okay, I would probably say I probably go 3 or 4 days with the same towel, but I take 2 showers a day, so that's like 6 hours, 6 or 8 showers.
Yeah.
with one towel. And this is we're people before we start talking about discussing this, we're talking about only the shower that you dry yourself off in after you're clean and hang up.
What other? Wait, what other towel is there? Yeah. Okay. We're clean when we use these.
We're not throwing them on the floor and picking them up from the floor.
No.
This is, but like, yeah, I have. My daughter will use 2 or 3 towels at a time and then throw them on her every time and throw them in her dirty clothes.
Now, listen, when I'm at the gym, all right, 6 towels at a time.
Well, yeah,
all right?
But they're not your towels.
Yeah.
And they have a pile of them.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to have more than 2, but fuck that. Yeah. I mean, I have 1 to sit on, 1 for my lap, 1 for my shoulders, 1 around my body, and 2 just on the side just in case. All right?
It drives me nuts. And here's the other thing. We only have enough room, and we have our little baskets or shelves where we put towels in the bathroom for about 8 towels, 4 in each place. I think we can do that. And one thing I am absolutely terrible at is looking to see if there is a towel before I get in the shower.
Well, I think that's important.
Unless, yeah, I absolutely.
We keep ours in the bathroom.
Well, yeah. Now, if it would be weird. So we have a closet across the hall from the bathroom, which if it was just me in the house, I don't care if I.
Okay, but Dave, what brought this on? What disaster brought this on?
I find myself washing a load of towels every friggin' week. Now, my wife's thing is, she doesn't keep her towels. She has a couple towels, and she doesn't keep them in the bathroom. She hangs them up in our bedroom so that my daughter will not use them and throw them in.
So your wife has favorite towels.
She has preparation. She has prep, and she gets very upset if somebody takes the towels from where she hangs them up to her. Which I never do, but my daughter does occasionally, I guess, because the last time she yelled at her. And then she comes in, did you take the towel off the back of the bedroom?
Okay, all right. So
Like, no.
I've been there. All right, I used a towel and that was hanging up, and my wife was like, "Did you use my towel?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Which one's yours?"
Yeah.
They're all ours, aren't they? She goes, "No, that one's my towel." And I'm like, "Well, just use a different towel." She goes, "Because there's like a whole stack of them." I'm like, "Just use a different one." She goes, "No, see, that one's the best one, and that one's mine." And I'm like, "So I'm not allowed to use the best towel?" Well, I mean, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand people that have a best anything like that.
My thing too was like, she's like, the yellow towel is the one I want to use. Wait a minute, I thought the white towels were. I don't use the white towels because the white towels are yours. So we have.
Do you have guest towels and family towels? You're not allowed to use the guest towels.
No, we don't have that. We have white towels, and most of the white towels are towels we bought for Tennessee, but have migrated their way back, and brown towels, which have some kind of weird design on them, which I really like. They're very good towels, And then we have these beach towels, yellow and blue.
Those are usually the best ones because they're huge.
They're huge, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't really care. I don't care which one I use. They're all, to me, we've only bought good towels. None of them are bad towels that don't dry you off.
Like you didn't go to Bad Towels or Us and buy a shitty towel.
So my thing is that I always thought the white towels were the ones she liked the best, so I never used the white towels. I used the brown towels. And then she started yelling about this yellow towel. I'm like, whoa, well, then why am I not using the white ones?
All right, are you a thick towel guy or a thin towel guy?
All of ours are thick, so.
All right. I'm a thin towel guy. I like thin towels. And the big fluffy towels, I don't get it. It's like it's like drying off with a blanket.
Well, my daughter's what drives me nuts with the 3 towels and then throwing them on the floor or on the dirty clothes or whatever. So then I'm like, I keep saying I'm going to go buy some more towels just so that.
Well, okay, this brings us to another issue, and that is the design of modern homes is not taking into consideration improvements, all right, in changes in our lifestyle. But why don't you have a washer dryer thing in the bathroom? And just when you're done with your towel, you throw it in there, and when it's full, you start it up, and it just goes through the whole. You don't have to think about it. Why not have that? I don't know why I have to go all the way to the fucking basement to wash my clothes. It's crazy, man. I just throw my clothes away and buy new ones.
I should talk my wife into we can't do it here at our house. They're too small here, but down in Tennessee, get one of those little.
Like an apartment over and under thing?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I want one in our house right now because why should I It's the only reason you have to go to the basement is because it used to be that you had to have your washer and dryer in the basement because they were hand cranked big monstrosities, and just once you got to more convenient stuff, no one ever changed that rule. You know, of course they're in the basement. Well, fuck that. I live on the top floor of basically a 3-story home. All right, if you include the basement. I'm walking back up. I'm not walking. You know what I do? Because my wife's a laundry freak. Even though she works 1 billion hours a week, she still likes doing laundry and don't get in the way and don't fold it wrong. So I don't do laundry. What I do is I fill my laundry basket, I take it down, I leave it in the hallway. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that in a couple of minutes. And magically, it just disappears and into the maelstrom of my wife's laundry fast. Do you know that when we vacation, I book Airbnbs because they have laundry machines in them. And she does laundry on vacation. Do you do laundry on vacation?
Yeah. But
you vacation in Tennessee.
Well, I also for some reason when we got married, the laundry issue was for whatever she decided to draw the line. Where it's like she doesn't do anybody's laundry. She did the kids'
Nor
laundry.
should she.
She did the kids' laundry when they were kids. But once they got to be about 8, 9 years old, she thought about it. She said, I'm not doing your laundry. You do your own laundry.
Smart.
And that was her thing.
Yeah.
Not doing anybody else's laundry. We all do our own. Well, whatever. Now that we're older, if she still doesn't do my laundry, but if I do my laundry, occasionally she will fold the stuff, which is always nice. She folds a hell of a lot better than me. I don't understand how you can fold laundry better than somebody else, but she does somehow.
You know,
it doesn't wrinkle.
My wife, I can't fold the towels. I mean, I can, but she's going to unfold them and refold them.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell the difference between the way I did it and the way that she did it. I can't see a difference.
Wait,
but she says there is a difference.
I'm sorry, you can't see a difference when it's folded, or you can't see a difference in how she's doing it?
I mean, that's the same thing.
No, it's not. I can tell the difference when she folds them than when I fold them, but I can't figure out how she does it. And she looks like she does it the same way I do.
Okay, I've never thought about that before.
Yeah.
And now I don't.
Vacuuming. I can vacuum a floor.
Okay. All right. Now we're on. Okay. My wife bought a new vacuum cleaner this week, or last week, and she's still Actually, before we went to San Francisco, she's still talking about it. She's in love with this vacuum cleaner.
Is it one of those robo vacuum cleaners?
No, it's I don't know what it is. It's a normal vacuum cleaner, but it has a deodorant. It makes everything smell good when you vacuum. And I didn't know vacuum cleaners did that, right? It's got, what am I trying to say? It's got a
deodorizer?
I guess, yeah, a room scent spreader thingy in it.
Although it makes sense.
So when the air goes through the whole vacuum thing and exits, it exits through this air freshener, right?
Yeah.
So it comes out smelling great instead of smelling like ass, which is what as in most vacuum cleaners. And my wife at Thanksgiving, it was like that was a toast. Here's to my vacuum cleaner, and here's 47 reasons why it's awesome. And I was like, holy crap. I mean, when are you going to stop talking about this?
We once had a guy come in and give us a demonstration of a vacuum cleaner. This is going back.
Holy crap.
20 years ago.
When was the last time you had a salesman come to your house?
Yeah, no kidding. But 20 years ago, the guy came in, and it was like $1,000 vacuum cleaner. It's something we couldn't.
I remember that. Was it metal?
Yeah, but it also filtered it through water. So the air, there was a water tank.
And don't tell my wife about that, man.
And so when it came into the water, and the it had a regular catcher where it caught all the dust and stuff. But then before the air went back out into the what do you call that? The
exhaust?
Exhaust, thank you.
Yeah. We don't know words, everyone.
It went through a water tank. So it would catch like dust and stuff, but it would only put fresh air back into the room.
That's crazy.
It was amazing.
You could have filled that with whiskey if you wanted to.
And I could see it was worth $1,000, but I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I've never seen him again.
No, those things are gone, man. Fuck. I think about it.
Anyway, that was my towel thing. Well, we're already at 49 minutes. But all right, I got one other thing.
And most of it's about towels.
Yeah. All right, I got one more topic.
All right.
Oh, I got to move my computer. All right.
Is this audio visual?
Yeah. What did I do?
And then you get my glasses on?
Yeah. All right, so See my shirt?
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
That's my Jones barbecue and foot massage.
God damn, that's awesome.
All right, so I got it so we can play the commercial, the original commercial from the Jones barbecue and foot massage here in Chicago.
Hit it.
How do you hit play?
Look at that. There it is.
Massage barbecue and foot
It's so nutty, man.
Barbecue and foot massage. You better come down here, get some of this. You like to eat? America loves to eat. So why not open up somewhere America can sit down, enjoy a meal, and get your feet rubbed? We'll fry anything you want for $5.99. As long as it's friable or edible, we're going to make it deliciable. We will fry parts of the chicken you didn't even know was friable. The beak, the feathers, we'll fry candy bars. All that European stuff that you don't really normally eat, we'll bring it down here and fry it for you. Ask McDonald's to fry something other than what they normally fry. Guess what you're going to get? Nothing. If it fit through the dough, I'll put it in the fryer. Hell, this is a dinosaur. All our meats are gently tenderized to their optimum deliciousness. We got fine dinosaur meat. Took my money, pay me pay for child support. Come on down here and get you a slice. Once they get your social security number, it's motivated. So friends, let's just decide you don't want no barbecue. Well, that's fine too. I'm not like one of my foot specialists or myself.
Gross.
Look at that.
So gross.
If you really pay me enough, you'll massage your feet in any of these sauces also. That's the rule down here. Jones, good ass barbecue and foot massage. So go ahead and give me a call or find us on the worldwide internets at the new website. That's JONES, big ass.
Is any of that real? Did he really have a place?
/ Jones, good ass barbecue and foot massage.html.
Excuse me, did you call number 52?
Did you hear me call number 52?
Oh, man.
So that is, I forgot what his real name is. Toby Jones was he was a comedian. He's still around. I think he's teaching somewhere now. And that was his skit. Jones good ass barbecue and foot massage. So somebody brought it up. It was 20 years ago. They did that. And somebody brought it up at a party I was at recently. And I'm like, well, I haven't heard that in years. So I looked it up. And I'm like, they sell T-shirts.
Hell yeah, man.
I got my good ass Jones good ass barbecue and foot
Now I
massage
want one
t-shirt.
too. I want one.
Yeah, so you can just go online and type in Jones barbecue and foot massage. You can find out where they're selling the T-shirt. And I tried to get a hold of the guy because I wanted him to come on when I.
Oh, that would be great.
But he didn't respond to my. He's on Facebook. But
He's probably inundated with fans.
I don't know.
You know?
This is 20 years ago, so. But yeah, isn't that funny? Jones barbecue and foot massage. I wonder if I can look up the website. Should I show the website? Let's see, Jones barbecue and foot massage T-shirt. I was looking at there was a story, somebody wrote a book about WLUP. We should try and get that guy on.
You know, I never thought about getting authors on here, but, I mean, I belong to the Authors Guild of Chicago and the Alliance of Independent Authors. Should get some of those guys on here.
Yeah. I mean, we should. That'll help us build. That'll help us build up the fan base here.
I am about to. This whiskey gift thing that I'm doing is all about growth, and so everyone that downloads it and buys the whiskey from this company called Big Thirst, we get their email.
I can't load the URL without buying another edition to this Medican thing. Or not buy, but download.
Strange. I have to do an audiobook.
Why?
Fat in Paris.
Oh yeah, you want me to read the
I want you to read the pre-buttal, but here's the other thing I'm thinking. I wonder if I should get other people to read the footnotes. You know?
I'm trying to remember when I listen to audiobooks if I hear the footnote. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
It usually there's like a tone like ding, and this is a footnote, you know, and then I don't know how to do it. And I don't know, I tried reading just the introduction, and it took me forever to do it, and it wasn't great. And I found out that you got to have, for some of these platforms like, I want to call it Audify, but I think that's wrong. It's got to be perfect. You can't have any background noise or anything like they're hardcore about
They
it.
do it in a studio.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know. I'm not going to pay for anything. Do it myself.
You
But
can rent studio space. But
yeah, I got a place. I can go to. It's quiet. I tried doing it in my office, and it's like there's dogs barking and planes going overhead, and my air conditioner keeps kicking on. It didn't work out.
Yeah. No, it's got to be quiet. I mean, I listen to audiobooks a lot now, especially when I drive. And I'm starting to really enjoy it. But I mean, what I've noticed is that I find it much easier to listen to books that I've already read.
Interesting. Well, I think it's going to be fun to do it because, I mean, my book is written in a really colloquial style, so I can really go off on it, And so I'm going to be doing it while I'm holed up all winter, It's one of the things I'm going to be doing. That, working on our book, new secret book that I have that I'm working on that I'm not going to tell you about. And
Our book?
no, a completely different book. That one's done. Are we done?
I think we're done. So this is the Jeremiah Creek, and hopefully we'll be back, at least in the next 2 weeks. But
Yeah, that would be the December
we're trying to do it every Wednesday, but if we do it every other Wednesday...
December 13th.
Yeah. No, I got a lot of Santa Claus gigs coming up, but I don't remember that date.
I can't. I forgot you're doing that, man.
I'm doing it at a Wingstop on Saturday
Get the fuck out. Which one?
in Prospect Heights. You should
Oh,
go.
my God. I got to go.
I need somebody to take pictures.
I got to go, man.
That's the one thing. I didn't get as many gigs as I could have because I didn't have a lot of... I only had pictures of me in a Santa Claus suit. I didn't have any pictures interacting with kids and stuff.
I have two friends that do this. That's amazing. My Tom Kleiner does it. He's the guy that bought the $4,000 Santa suit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no kids.
But I wonder how he gets his jobs. That's what I like to find out. I got a couple of websites that
He's doing a thing on oh crap, it might be December 13th. Well, it'll be in the evening at this restaurant. He's doing a thing there. They're doing a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
So he's part of that. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant. Untitled is the name of the restaurant. And but other than that, I think he just kind of hangs out. He does it at his own restaurant.
Oh, okay.
He dresses like Santa Claus, and I think he just kind of he goes to like the Kris Kringle market and stuff and just walks around. I don't know if he has any actual gigs. Ask him if he has any actual gigs.
Well, I also ordered some stuff to make this white, some temporary stuff that I can put on my mustache and stuff to make it more white. But, all right. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. We need outro music.